Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess who wanted to marry the most handsome man in the world. However, her father, the king, wanted her to marry the strongest and smartest man he could find. They argued about this every single day. One day the king learned that his days were numbered. The royal doctor had diagnosed him with a terminal illness. Afraid of leaving his daughter alone and the kingdom without a ruler, the king decided to hold a contest open to all the young men in the realm. Whoever won would become the new king and marry the princess, regardless of his appearance. The princess was very dissatisfied with this decision, but there was nothing she could do. On the day of the contest, all the young men gathered to compete. The king and the princess stood on a small island in the center of a large lake. The king announced, "He who crosses this lake first will become my daughter's husband and this kingdom's next king." Everyone was confused. Crossing a lake sounded easy enough. They simply had to swim quickly or use a boat. That was what they thought until hundreds of hungry-looking alligators surfaced, ready to seize anyone they could catch. The young men recoiled. Most backed out at the sight of the alligators. Some of the cleverer ones began building sturdy boats to protect themselves, while others prepared weapons and armor. As the contestants hesitated, the princess grew bored. She glanced around, hoping at least one participant was handsome, and spotted a dazzling figure on the far shore. He was the most handsome man she had ever seen, yet he seemed interested only in observing the spectacle. The princess was furious. She wanted that handsome man to join the contest. She produced a bow and arrow from nowhere, took aim, and loosed a shaft. The onlooker, amusedly mocking the contestants for risking their lives, was startled when an arrow landed inches from his foot. He lost his balance and tumbled into the lake. Panic-stricken as the alligators converged on him, he swam, not back to shore, but toward the island where the king and princess stood. Amazingly, he reached it unharmed. The princess looked ecstatic, and the king was astonished. The handsome man had crossed the lake without being eaten. The king and the princess hurried to greet him, though he was gasping for breath. The king proclaimed him the contest's victor and the realm's new ruler. Everyone cheered, especially the princess. A few days later, the princess and the handsome man were married. And they lived happily ever after? Please like and subscribe.